Hey everybody, welcome back to We're Gonna Make You Watch. Bryan and Isaiah here. We are going through all these Halloween movies, and this has been a lot of fun so far. We're learning more about each other. You know, our friendship's getting stronger. We're bonding. The bromance is real, and we are now at Halloween 4, which is the return of Michael Myers, and they were very proud that he was back, so much to the point that they put it in the title itself, The Return of Michael Myers, so as not to confuse horror fans with what they felt was a mistake with Halloween 3, and I think financially is what made them think that was a mistake anyway. But he's back. The man in the mask is back. By popular demand. Fire couldn't fucking get this guy, man. Like he's just so much evil that Fire was just like, nah, bro, can't do it. We also get a slightly more unhinged version of Dr. Loomis. He was a little more unhinged in part 2 from part 1, so the progression to crazy Loomis is real and it's happening.
Yep.
And
you see it. You see the inklings of it in this one. Like you see how he can be crazy, and it just kind of goes from there. In the movies after it. So
and it's glorious. It's fucking fantastic. I love this fucking movie. There's things that for me would have made this movie a top 3 Halloween film if they would have knocked it out. What I love about the movie is it feels like fall. Everything from the opening credits to the rest of the film, it feels like fall in the Midwest, which is where I grew up, and that's how I know fall. And we get an absolutely wonderful debut and performance by Danielle Harris, who has gone on to become a bona fide scream queen and horror icon, not just based on these 2 movies, because she's definitely paid her dues in horror and other franchises from Hatchet and whatnot. And she's a hell of a fucking actor and just a fucking sweetheart. I've met her a couple of times. I've got I've got a couple of pictures with her. She's super fucking sweet, super fucking cute. We're the same age, so it's not creepy. Because she's the same age as me, almost literally exactly. I think her birthday's in August also. But yeah, the issues that I have with this movie really mainly lie on the costuming. They inexplicably put shoulder pads on George Wilbur. They found the ugliest fucking mask they could have well, not the ugliest, because we're gonna get to the
plainest, like most generic looking mask.
So painfully generic, and I know people will defend it saying, well, it can't be the same mask because it burnt up, and I'm fine with that. Just a better looking one. It doesn't need to be the same mask. Just a better looking one than what they fucking found and what they got. I hate this mask so much. He looks so surprised. And now, with that being said, George is a great Michael. Like, he's fucking good in this movie. He moves well. He's got an animalistic savagery to him. That I love. And there's some pretty fucking rad kills in this movie too. And there's some really great shots. Like at the beginning with Loomis sees him in the overalls with the bandaging around him. That's a fucking cool shot, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great shot. Oh man, and Ellie Cornell is in this, and she's so fucking good as Rachel, I guess adopted big sister. I think she's actually like a second cousin or some shit. Really, she's like loose, like related, but not. But yeah, and she's wonderful in this movie, and she's like she's got such a protective presence about her. and she's strong. She's a really strong female character, and I
Yep.
love it. She's fucking wonderful in this movie, and it's got a great ending that they don't capitalize on, which is a
I
bummer,
know.
but I kind of get it in a way. Okay, I've gone on way too long. Give me your thoughts on the movie, man.
So you kind of nailed it. The whole Halloween fall feel is absolutely perfect in this movie. The visuals in that opening sequence is my favorite Halloween opening sequence of any of the movies.
Same, so
Um,
good.
it's hard to beat a lot of what's going on in this movie. Obviously, we talked about the mask. The mask is fucking atrocious. It's one of my most hated in the series. There's one that goes beyond that, but we'll get there. But yeah, I mean, it's just you touch on George P. Wilbur. He's probably outside of oh my god, the guy that did the recent movies, and
James
his
G.
name's just,
Courtney.
thank you,
There's
James
a
Hugh
lot of
Courtney.
names
James
that
Hugh
go through.
Courtney is my favorite Michael Myers.
He's the greatest.
But
Michael
George P. Wilbur is a very close second, and
he's good.
He's so incredibly good, and we'll talk more about when he comes back in 6 because that really kind of sealed it of why he's my favorite Michael Myers. But I mean, just the way that he portrays the character, it's not robotic like how Dick Warlock did.
Right.
And, Dick Warlock did amazing, I think, for, what he did with the character. He was just more slow moving, methodic kind of, where George P. Wilbur, like you said, is more animalistic, and it just feels more raw with, the movements he does in this and how he portrays the character. The characters in this are very well done too, I think, just with how much you either love or hate them.
Yes.
Because there's a couple characters in here you're just waiting for them to die.
Oh yeah.
But obviously, Jamie is a great character to introduce, especially as the daughter of Laurie. So it continues the family storyline that started in Halloween 2 that John Carpenter didn't really want, but wrote it anyways because he was drunk, which we talked about. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's just a very well-rounded movie, and it's higher up in the list for me because this is probably top 5 for this one for sure.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's got everything in it that you really want, and it's very minor stuff that just kind of knocks it down for me. And because the way I look at it with this movie is that the things that it doesn't do well, they really make up for with everything else. Because for me, this one I feel like has a little bit of a pacing issue in certain areas of the movie.
That's fair.
Where it just seems like it might drag a little too much, like where they're all locked up in the house. That seems like it takes a little too much time.
Okay.
In certain areas, and I don't know if it's just a dialogue thing. I know they wrote this movie very quickly, like it was like a 2-week turnaround or something like that for writing the movie. So I could see where that might have a little bit of a hindrance with how this all played out. But I mean, other than the few small things like where the pacing issues for me and like the mask, there's not much bad that I can say about the movie.
Right. Agreed. Yeah. This was a huge success. Financially. It spent 2 weeks at number 1. And I say huge success, and it's going to sound really weird. It only made $17.8 million. That being said, it only cost $5 million. So I believe they had 2 weeks at number 1 when it came out, and they immediately were like, "Okay, let's get this movie, this sequel going." And they basically made the same mistake with part 5 that they did with the quick script writing, and we're getting ready to talk
Lightning
about
didn't
that.
strike twice with that. That's for sure.
No, it didn't. Yeah, I've already gone on and on about how much I like this movie. So let's go ahead and grade it. We'll get out of here. I went first last night. What's your grade on this one?
So this one, just kind of looking at my ranking here of how I have these ranked, so I make sure I grade it properly. This one's definitely higher because, like I said, it's top 5 for me. So I'm gonna go a B on this movie.
Yeah, I'm leaning between a B and a B plus. I was kind of thinking landing at B as well. It's not quite as good as Halloween 2 for me. But you know what? I think I am going to go ahead and land on a B plus still. Just because it's a B plus doesn't mean that. Just because it gets the same grade doesn't necessarily mean it's the same, just as good.
Right.
Because we're grading things. I think I am going to I'm going to chill at B plus with this because there's also a lot of nostalgia for this for me because I think I was 11 when I watched this movie. No older than 12. That's like prime horror wanting age, when you're almost old enough to watch the good stuff, so to speak, you know? And it's just, I remember just being a kid and just when I saw the trailer for this, just going, oh my God, and I couldn't wait to see this movie. And man, I think that I still kind of look at it in those little 11-year-old Bryan eyes, probably.
Yeah.
I honestly probably do. And this is certainly one of the movies that helped cement my love for horror because of the age that I was at. It has to be like, I remember this movie so fondly, and I think I always will. The same can't be said for some others, but let us know what you guys think of Halloween 4. Hit us up in the comments. Let's talk some Halloween movies, y'all. Anything you want to add before we slide out of here, buddy?
No, looking forward to talking about Halloween 5, though.
Yeah, me too. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And with that, we'll catch y'all on the next episode.